everybody. Welcome to Texas Talk Chicks. I'm here with Viv, and this is Gwen, and we're going to be talking about Civil War. Welcome to our channel. If it's your first time, welcome. And if you're coming back for your poison, welcome back. So we just discovered, Viv, that there's a new movie coming out called Civil War. It was a little interesting to me because I thought, Civil War, like, I mean, we've had a lot of Civil War, movies. And so I was a little perplexed, a little curious about it. So I clicked on it. And I don't really like to watch trailers anyway. There's the only thing that's out right now is the trailer because it's coming out in the spring. Oh my goodness.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. So did you have a chance to take a look at it?
I did.
Yeah.
There's so much there. You know what it reminded me of a lot was, do you remember the movie Contagion?
Oh, yes.
That,
Oh, gosh.
it
Yes.
was
I love
kind
that
of, it
movie.
was, I don't know how many years ago that was, but there's a lot of stuff that was in it that it was like precursor to the actual COVID pandemic, the
Oh,
social
yeah.
distancing and stuff. And it's like, wow, is this like a premonition?
Right.
So
Right.
I don't
Did they
know.
take the
Kind of
playbook?
creepy.
Yeah, right. Did they take the playbook from, Contagion to do what they did to us during the stupid bid thing? Yeah,
Right.
absolutely. It did have that kind of feeling to it. I mean, we don't know much about the movie. I did try to do
No.
some reading about it. What I gathered was I think it's Alex Garland. I think that's the direct. I don't know any of those. I don't care about those,
No.
so I don't know about them, but he's kind of a big deal. He's had some hits, so we're
Right.
whatever. So we're supposed to pay attention to this, right? I think Kirsten Dunst is in it. So the only thing you can read about the plot is that, okay, so here's the big thing. Okay. So if you're Texan, okay, I'm telling you, you are gonna let my husband immediately made a comment when I saw him about this. I said, so I guess California and Texas take over the White House. And my husband said, what? Wouldn't they be at war with each other? I said, exactly. I
Yeah,
mean,
exactly.
that is like the
Yeah,
most ridiculous.
that was one of the first things I noticed was, number one, it was, why would California and Texas get together? They're like polar
Ever.
opposites. But the other thing that really caught me was toward the end of the trailer when the guy was standing there in the uniform and he said,
Yeah.
"What kind of American?"
Yeah.
And I went, "Oh, that's
Oh,
the clicker right there."
yeah. I have a feeling he's a crazy Texas, California guy. They're going to
You
make,
know,
I just know I can have a sense about this. They're going to make it some crazy takeover. So let's just talk about Texas. Okay, let's talk.
right.
You're the expert. I'm the one who has family in Texas, has family in Oklahoma. Finally talked my husband into getting a place in Texas. And, so I'm more of a newbie, but my family roots are there. But you're born and raised there. So
Yes.
why don't you tell us okay, first of all, would Texas ever go in with anyone else to try and take over the White House? Let's just go
In a word, no, I don't think so. Maybe Oklahoma. I don't know, but
there. Right. Right.
but no,
What
not
does
anybody.
Texas do
Not California.
what does Texas do every single freaking year in their legislation? Do you know? It's kind of vague that I'm saying. They try to introduce, and they did this year, March, introduce a bill to investigate this year, seceding from the
Oh yeah,
union.
yeah, 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 yeah.
So they don't want to go in with like
Mm-mm.
California, Newsom. Are you kidding me? Like Newsom, they would partner with
Oh,
Newsom.
not
That would
Newsom.
never
Oh
happen in a
God.
million years. And maybe they mean the Texas that's like taken over, like the Austin, Texas, or the Houston, Texas.
Well, that would be a good thing to take over Austin, take it back from
Right.
California. So
We could just ship those people on over to California,
when
and
you ship
they
them back, ship
ship
them
them
back.
back.
They came
Right.
from California, send them
Right.
back. So,
Right. Exactly. Let's just send them back. But I mean,
yes.
if anything Texas would do would be to become its own country, not to take over the freaking White House. I was just like, okay, who wrote that? Who thought, okay, let's team up Texas and California? Like that means that's someone who has no idea what Texas is. All
No,
they know
not
is
at all.
Texas is a bunch of independent people that
Hmm.
that probably are fully armed. Well, we know fully armed, except for those stupid liberal areas that we've mentioned.
Right.
Fully armed citizens. So I mean, I can see that point. And then the Californians, what would they do? Just come over and complain a lot? Like what would they contribute?
Not much.
So dumb. I just couldn't.
I don't know, cannon fodder.
Right. Oh my gosh. So I mean, there's a ton. Was there anything else you noticed? Like that was my initial like, oh,
Well, yeah, that's the first thing that immediately I went, California and Texas. No,
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 never
that's
gonna
not
happen.
not reality, not at all. So
No. Texas and California are gonna be the bad guys in this movie. It's not gonna be like taking over the crappy government that we have right now and
no,
trying to recover all the rights that we've lost as Americans. It's going to be the crazy, crazy militia people that
well,
are trying to overtake the government.
yeah, I mean that could be it. I hope not. I really hope not. I mean, I hope
No,
that but who knows?
so right. They're putting a lot of what do you call it, like promotion to it, and
Well,
they did
very
get,
early promotion.
yeah, very early promotion, but I think it's all because it's got like this war aspect to it, and the Israel thing that's going on is the war.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? So
Uh-huh.
it's like, to
Yep,
me, I
yep.
think that's what they're kind of going for. They're kind of riding the coattail of there's a war going on, and so we're going to
Hmm.
introduce this, like all these people that are armed are going to go take over.
Well, one thing that's really cheesy about it to me is the fact that if you look at like our country now, our modern country, that's a factor. It's like how do people get together enough to do anything
Right,
because everything is social media, telephones or whatever, it's all being monitored. So it's like if we were really going after the government, they'd squash you before you ever got there. So
right.
I'm curious, how does this all happen?
Right. So that
In,
might be the draw, right? To go see it is
right.
like, how could they even? But you're so right, because think about Californians.
Yep.
Okay, you got numbers there, right? You got land mass there,
Yep.
but I wonder what the percentages of armed people there. Like, it's got to be like
Not
20%, maybe.
not like Texas, that's
No,
for sure.
right? Oh my gosh, I was let's see, where was I? I was at Ollie's one day in Amarillo, and something had happened. It was on the, like, I don't know how it came about, but someone said something about the smash and grab. And I was
Yeah.
going through the checkout and I looked at the checker and I said, oh, I'd love them to try that in Texas. And she goes, oh, yeah, we'd all pull out our guns and shoot them.
Oh
I
yeah, for
said,
sure.
so
Yeah.
true. Oh my
Yep, yep,
gosh.
yep,
And they
yep.
don't, I
Just
mean,
try it.
as far as I know, except for probably Dallas, Austin, and Houston, I mean, in the Panhandle or in the West Texas area, you're just not going to have that. You're not,
Mm-mm. No.
and the your neighbors got your back, and you just know that you just don't have to, rioting. Oh my gosh, I'd love for someone to come in with a Palestinian flag in our town. In that one
Oh,
song.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
What's that
Yeah,
one
not
song?
gonna
Not
happen.
try that in a small town. I have that T-shirt because that's so true. That's so Texan. Try that in a small town. I don't remember who does that. It's a country song. And the whole premise is, yeah, just try that in our town. Try birding our flag. Try
Mhm, mhm.
disrespecting us as Americans. I think the next
Yes.
step is always to unarm us. I think that is always going to be the goal when you're talking about Hollywood, you're talking about liberals, and how ridiculous to even have this discussion when you just had people come over and attack unarmed civilians
Yes.
in Israel.
Yes, exactly,
This
exactly.
is not the time to discuss disarming, non-criminal, law-abiding citizens. This is not the time to
No.
discuss that. And I always say, you first, man. If you think you need to take my gun, your security doesn't get to carry
Oh,
guns.
absolutely. That's the first thing that needs to happen is, stop with the rules for me, but not for thee, like they
Right.
always do. I mean, it's like, no, you can't. If I can't be armed and my family is just as important as you, Mr.
Exactly.
Congressman, or you, Mrs. Congress, whoever. I don't care who they are. My family and my safety is as important to me as theirs is to them. And
Exactly.
I mean, that's what this country's all about, isn't it? Is the citizens, we the
Yep,
people, not them, the elites. So,
exactly. And I mean, people need to start just calling them out. Okay, you want to
yep,
take my gun? Your
yep,
security doesn't carry guns, and you watch them backpedal. Watch them say, "Well, there's so many threats against my life. Oh, your life is more important than my life, I guess. I
no.
guess your life is more important." Fight them
And
off.
you have to remember too with women, it's even if the person like a male, a strong person is attacking you without a
Right,
gun, if you have a gun, that's the
right.
great equalizer. And that's why I feel protected because I don't have to worry about who it is or how much strength they have. That equals the playing field.
Exactly. That's exactly right. And I mean, to me, I have a feeling that this movie is going to be like this anti-gun. We got to take guns
Oh,
away from the crazy people so they don't take over our government and it doesn't cause all this problem and blah blah blah. I hope
yeah.
I'm wrong, but there was nothing in the movie that indicated that this was a positive thing. It was a bad thing that was happening. And they included Texas, I'm almost sure, because we're known to be all armed, right? So yeah. So anything else you noticed about the movie? I noticed that it seemed like the only person I could tell that I knew in the movie was Kirsten Dunst. And she's aged
Mhm.
well, I have to say.
Yeah.
She doesn't look like a teenager anymore, but she aged well.
I'm curious, the one scene, do you remember the scene where they went into, one little town or whatever, and the people were business as usual? They went into a store and they were just
right.
walking around. They said, "Do you realize there's a civil war going on?" And they said, "Yeah, we just try to just, not think about it, whatever." And I was really curious, what are they saying there? There's a message there too. It's like, "Oh, these people are oblivious," or
Right.
"These people are not feeding the fire," because you gotta
Oh
be
yeah.
that's yeah, they're just, not gonna participate, therefore, they're not gonna
They're
be
kind of
bothered. I
yeah,
don't
maybe
know.
they're the right ones because they're not
Yeah, it's
participating.
it's hard to say.
Or maybe they're just a reflection of our whole entire country that's asleep. That's
Could be.
possible.
That's why I said I just think there's definitely a message in that scene. I really believe
Yeah.
there is in that
I
scene too, so.
remember right after the October 7th thing happened in Israel, I remember I had just found out that the babies were decapitated, just
Oh, that's disgusting.
the horrible things that came out. And I remember saying to someone, is like, oh man, I can't get this out of my mind. It was someone it was an acquaintance, and we had just seen each other, like we were just starting a conversation. And he said, "Oh, I just can't get this out of my mind. It's just really bothering me." And she says, "What?" And I'm like, like the babies being killed. And she's like, "In America?" And I'm like, "Oh, this is like 3 days in," and I'm like, "Oh my gosh!" I mean, literally, like she's probably in her 30s. I'm like, how do you not even know this global thing that's going on right now? Like, how do you, except for if you're just watching TikTok all day long, maybe, I don't know,
Or
maybe
doing
that,
selfies.
yeah, doing selfies and doing little dances, doing
They're
little
oblivious,
dances.
and I don't know. I don't know. When you can have the world in your face all day long and people can't see
Right.
this stuff, it's like, it do they number 1 is what are they watching, like you say, or number 2 is, are they just so oblivious that they just tune it out? I don't know. I
And that
don't
makes
live
me,
my life that way.
no, no, my gosh, no, we're too old for that. So what I worry about this movie, I do worry that those mushy brain young people that aren't paying
Yeah.
attention to anything globally will grab onto any stupid agenda message that they've got going on in this movie.
Right.
And and probably most of them would think, yeah, California, Texas, they'd be like teaming up. Okay, well, they're just really dumb if they think that's going to happen. So anyway, we got to wrap this up. Hopefully I didn't put too much into it. And thanks again, Viv, for your input. And I always love talking
Sure.
to you. So again, we'll see you later, and remember to stay Texas tough.
That's right.
Thanks.